If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better.
Terry radio stuff.
Yeah, I know. Did you ever resolve your Jeep problem?
Nope.
No? Still haven't got the part?
No. Well, they got the part, and then it crapped out. That part crapped out. So now we're going to do a more thorough diagnosis and see if they can figure out what made the part crap out. So
you have it home, or?
Yeah, I got it at home. It still works. It just has a glitch that whenever you accelerate and it downshifts, the engine quits. So it's safe to use in town as long as I don't try to outrun a cop or something.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, have you done any searching on the internet to see if that's a problem that other people are seeing?
No, I haven't really done that. I thought the dealer would have faced it by now.
Yeah.
If it's a standard, if it's an ongoing, large problem, they seem to be puzzled by it. That's why I'm going to bring it in Tuesday morning, and they're going to keep it overnight and do 2 days of diagnostics to see if it's that part or if it's a part going to that part or coming from that part.
Some forensics.
Yeah.
CSI.
Unlike NCSI, they won't be able to solve it in 30 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. I expect Ken. I don't know about Zach, and I don't expect Jeff. So we had, other than we can start out talking about the attempted, at least the, I don't even know if I like to call it attempted. I like to call it the incident at the White House Correspondence Dinner, and what your thoughts are about that.
But it's real interesting.
Not necessarily about the person, but
Well, it's real interesting. I get an email from a group called The Truth About Cancer. I don't know if you get that or not. Ty and Cheryl Bollinger. But boy, they're just tore this whole thing apart about 30 minutes. Well, I probably ought to read it if I can find it. But anyway, they keep coming up with all these coincidences that happened. Why they took JD Vance out before they took the president out? Questions like that.
Why closer to him?
Well, there were people standing at the president while they were dragging Vance out of his chair.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I have noticed in comment to that. I've noticed there's a lot of experts coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
seeing a lot of stuff that I my opinion, and then I'll just say this up front. My opinion is that the guy, I feel like Senator Kennedy. The security worked. The guy he wasn't even on the same floor as the president was. He was upstairs a floor. They got him right at where the magnometer was. So that wasn't why they got him. They got him because he ran through it and then he shot a guy. So I'm hearing stuff now that's just, what did the Secret Service guy that got shot? He told him, "Yeah, run up here and shoot me, and we'll fake all this or something." Come on.
Yeah. Well, there's still people that don't believe Butler was real.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, what's Candace Owens? She's one of them. So and Marjorie Taylor Greene is spewing that same nonsense. So yeah. Anyway, that was my feelings about it. I don't. I think they could have done things better, but they were in a difficult place to do things because they're in a hotel.
Well,
And
that
unless they
and of
locked down
course,
all the rooms in the hotel and said nobody can stay here that night,
yeah,
then they could have locked everything down outside. So, but
right,
anyway, no, I thought they did a pretty good job, and it never got close. Um, inside, the difficulty I saw inside was that they had way too many people in there. They
yeah,
should have had 500 or 1,000 less people in there because they obviously didn't have room for everybody, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
A public venue like that's got to be a nightmare for the Secret Service.
sure. Yeah.
Or or like when the president gets out of the limousine and walks the ropes, that
Hmm.
sort of thing. And God,
Yeah.
they're looking for a hand movement or anything else. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you saw the movie Line of Fire
Uh-huh. Yeah.
with what's his name there? But
Clint
anyway,
Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and how vulnerable president is. Jack Kennedy said
Yeah.
before he was assassinated, anybody who wants to can assassinate the president of the United States if he
Sure.
doesn't care whether he lives or not.
Right.
You know, uh,
And if he's got to have some basic skills, but yeah, sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
anyway, but as far as I'm concerned, like the old Air Force saying, "Flak is heaviest when you're over the target."
oh yeah, that's
and
right.
uh, and
Yeah.
that's why he's the one that's being shot at. Nobody shot
Yeah.
at Joe Biden because
Yeah.
he didn't, he wasn't much of a
Why,
danger to anybody
yeah.
except the
Why?
guy in front of him when he tripped.
Yeah. Why waste a bullet, right?
Yeah.
He can't stay on his feet anyway.
just like shooting a balloon.
Yeah.
When you
Trump's
can
right.
bar the
That's sort of what Trump said, right? It's like
yeah,
people that accomplish
exactly
things are, they're signaled out. They're
right.
so yeah. That's a very true statement. So you're right on about that.
I uh I did notice that Pete Hegseth uh, stiffened up his spine a little bit. Well, no, not that he's got a weak spine, but he didn't mince words or marshmallow some of those questions that the Democrats were throwing at him
Oh
about the
yeah,
war. Like
yeah,
that one guy, and I can't remember who it was, but said we're in a quagmire now, and Hegseth just ripped his ass off.
yeah,
Quagmire. We've been in this for 2 months after Vietnam for 11 years and Afghanistan
yeah,
for 20. You call this a quagmire? Whose
yeah,
side are you on?
yeah.
Well, boy, he
That was
just
great.
bitch slapped
Yeah,
him.
that was beautiful. Yeah, yeah, you did good. And oh, I wanted to tell you what Senator Kennedy, I mentioned him. How he described the guy that this teacher from California that I guess he was mechanical engineering major and he was
Some kind of engineering, yeah.
teaching somewhere. Um, he called him an overeducated, underemployed, more virtuous than us loser. I thought that was pretty definitive, right?
Yeah, for an Oxford scholar, this guy sure talks down home.
I know. Yeah, he really does. Yeah. Well, he's from your state, right?
Yes, he
He's
is.
a Louisiana guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he lays it out there sometimes.
yeah. I did
Makes
not
it
realize. Of course, I was gone. I left Louisiana in '85 to come
yeah.
out here to graduate school, and he's his tenure in the politics is later than that. So I
Hmm.
never knew him in public office,
Yeah.
but he was
He
evidently was treasurer for the state for a while.
right. Yeah. And he recently he was talking about Schumer becoming the Senate leader again. He says, I'd rather drink weed killer
Or lick a hot grill.
than have Schumer be head of the Senate again.
Yeah, that's a dangerous thing. Of course,
Yeah,
Schumer, from what I'm seeing, looks like he's losing a little bit of his edge.
yeah, he is.
He's got
Yeah.
occasionally comprehend what how do they call her? Occasionally compost Mentos,
Hmm.
pushing him
Yeah.
around like he was a beach ball.
Yeah.
He's afraid to cross her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
He's he's worried about getting reelected or having her run against him. That's for sure. So, what do you think about? What's your opinion about Kimmel's comments? Any opinion about
Oh,
that?
Kimmel? Oh,
Yeah.
I have an opinion about Kimmel, but I
Yeah. Oh,
can't say it
yeah.
on the air.
Yeah. Me
The
too.
FCC will be on top of me. No, he's a washed up comedian, if he ever
Yeah.
was a comedian.
Yeah.
And his only shtick now is to bash Trump.
Yeah.
He can't say anything to get a rise out of his audience if it doesn't bash Trump.
Right.
That's I guess that's what those people go to the studio for, is to hear somebody
Yeah.
bash Trump.
Yeah.
Um, it's
That
it's just
crowd. Yeah.
it's really sad that the guy makes as much money as he does, 5, 10,
Hmm.
$15 million a year,
Yeah. And
with
he's not
absolutely
making
no
any money
talent.
for them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's not
Well,
making
I
them any
guess
money.
it's all audience driven, and so evidently there
Oh,
are still
sure.
people that watch the show,
Yeah.
because if there weren't people watching the show, the sponsors would pull it all over it,
Yeah.
you know, unless they're just altruistically Trump haters.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, his comments were absolutely uncalled for and nasty. Um,
Yeah. I just
just
don't think, a comedian, there are ways to there are ways to make jokes about politicians, but joking about assassinating the president is not one of those ways. You know,
no,
that's not
in fact,
something that you joke about. So
well,
yeah, that's kind of my opinion about it. I mean, we've seen a lot of people joke about politicians for years and years, but they don't, you don't talk about assassinating them, especially the president. So yeah,
yep.
so yeah, it's not good. I don't know if anything can be done about it. I know Stephanopoulos learned his lesson. Um, Cost him $15 million, but
Yeah, it
we'll.
didn't cost him anything. It cost ABC.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah,
And they kept him on, so
yeah.
that should have
That's
been,
right.
that tells you something.
Yep,
He
exactly.
must he must bring in
That's
more than $15 million.
that's true. So let me see what else I got here. I put down some notes yesterday about some things. I know you've heard about all this redistricting stuff,
Yeah,
starting with Virginia, which judge has already stopped. At least the first level of judges, they stopped that fiasco. Obviously, gerrymandered to the full extent of violating the law. And then you came out with this ruling by the Supreme Court yesterday where they upheld Louisiana's, I guess it was their case,
yeah. It was Louisiana.
against.
They slapped down some gerrymandering, because
Mhm.
did you see the picture of that district?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it goes from Shreveport down to Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
It follows the Red River,
Yeah.
because that's where all the plantations were, and that's where all the offspring of all the slaves were.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, they should have just gone on down the river a little bit farther and taken in the cancer patients that they've got millions of down there between Baton Rouge and New Orleans.
Yeah.
They just probably don't vote Democrat.
Yeah. I see. Yeah. I saw their map, and it's just, it's like kind of like Virginia. Virginia had all kinds of spider legs going out everywhere from every district, catching something, a little bit of this, a little bit, just making enough to change the balance. So we're in pretty good shape there, though, because they think um, that we could pick up as many as 40 extra seats by the time this is all said and done. Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be just dynamite. I tell you, Don, I have to tell you, when I watch the Republicans and Thune, I'm thinking it wouldn't matter if we had 100 seats in the Senate. That guy would manage to screw it up and not get it passed. I can't. He's got an agenda that's almost as bad as Schumer. It scares me.
Yeah,
Why
he's
the
all.
Save America Act hasn't passed,
Yeah,
and the
I know.
filibuster hadn't been thrown in the bucket
Hmm.
and passed that bill. There has to be some high powered forces are and God, I would hate to think I'm right, a lot of money changing hands.
Yeah.
That he hasn't killed a filibuster and passed that bill.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to be being threatened physically, and that's by both sides.
Well, Trump dinged him again this morning on True Social and said you have to just be stupid not to get rid of the filibuster and pass the Save America Act. And he says he says you're committing political suicide by not doing it. So
Well, is he?
yeah,
That's the question.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
you would think he would be. He certainly
yeah,
should be.
yeah.
But things things
Well,
things that go up there on in Washington don't make sense to those of us that work for a living.
no, no. Is he from South or North Dakota? South Dakota, right?
Hey,
South Dakota.
I don't have a clue.
I think he's.
That's so far away from here.
Yeah. Let me.
It's even farther from where you are.
I know. Let me check
But
where this. Let me look real quick here. I'll search it here quick. What state is Thune from? I think it's South Dakota. But yeah, he's not in a he's not in anywhere it's got any kind of metropolis going for it.
yeah, I did
I
not
watched.
realize.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I did not realize that we still have states with one representative just because the Constitution says they have to have one representative, but they don't have enough people to actually fund or to justify a representative. I think we're looking right now at a representative should have about 750,000 constituents.
Hmm.
And of course, if you take all of South Dakota and North Dakota, you don't get 750,000
Yeah.
people. Rhode Island.
Well, you're sort of like Wyoming, where they don't have enough people to have two senators, so and two representatives. They only got one senator and one representative. So
No, they have two senators.
two senators. I'm sorry, they only got one
Yeah,
representative. Yeah,
right.
their whole state's a district. It's like District 1, man. We're all in this together.
Well,
Let's see here.
that creates cohesion, I guess.
Yeah. And they are pretty united in that state too. Okay, Thune is South Dakota. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know who the other senator is from South Dakota. Anyway, I watched the black senator from South Carolina on this morning. I can't think of his name right offhand.
That's Scott.
Scott, yeah, right.
Yeah.
He was talking about getting rid of the filibuster and he's on board with doing it. He said, and they were talking about Ron Johnson talking about it from Wisconsin. He's on board. They got majority of senators on board with doing it, but they'd have to have. I guess they'd have to have 51 to get rid of the rule, right?
Well, the majority leader has to first bring it to the floor. That's what's being held
Well,
up.
yeah,
Right.
there you go.
He's
Yeah,
not bringing it to the floor. We've got the votes to pass it.
Yeah.
Just like you said, there's Democrats that want to get rid of it. They want to get rid of it, and it's been pretty well agreed that as soon as the Democrats take over the Senate,
Well, they're going to get rid of it. Yeah.
So they want to get rid of it.
Yeah,
And,
that's what Scott said this morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've heard other people talk about that. Yeah.
So it's not an issue of can they get rid of it. The issue
Right.
is can they get it to the floor so they can get rid of it.
There you go.
And that's what Thune's holding up, or whatever his reasons are.
So the other good news on that front, I guess the only they did pass the Homeland Security funding in Congress today.
Yeah, that the House passed the amendment that the Senate
Mhm.
sent them, amending
Yeah.
their bill.
Right.
And what was the outcome of that? But that doesn't pay some of the other people. That stops it ends the shutdown, but it doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily pay some of the people that haven't been paid for almost 90 days now,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
unfortunate. But that's the Coast Guard and Border Patrol and people like that.
Yeah. Well, the big beautiful bill funded ICE and the Border Patrol, so I think they've all been getting paid, but Coast Guard hasn't for sure. I was reading about the Coast Guard this morning, which is not a good deal. They, Coast Guard shouldn't be part of Homeland Security. Coast Guard ought to be part of the Pentagon, and
Yeah,
because
yeah.
most of their mission is related to the Pentagon. Defending the homeland is part of the Pentagon's role from the
Well, I
borders
don't.
out. So,
Yeah, I don't think. I think if you look at the Coast Guard from its historical perspective, it was a smuggling capture program,
oh yeah,
and so that's why I think it stays under Homeland Security instead of the military,
yeah,
under the Department of War,
yeah,
because its primary mission is border protection and economic border protection,
yeah.
not military border protection.
And I didn't like putting Secret Service under Homeland Security. They should have kept it under Treasury.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I
Well,
think that's
you know,
hurt them.
the Secret Service original job was to prevent counterfeiting. That was
Yeah,
that was its original mission, and
right.
and then they picked up the presidential protection,
hmm
and that's what moved them under Homeland Security.
Yeah,
So, uh, they could fall under either one of those, or they could divide the the unit into two divisions and put one under Homeland Security and one under Treasury,
hmm
and separate their jobs. It's
yeah,
like the ATF. The ATF shouldn't. It was the FBI,
yeah,
and then they separated them out because of different crimes
yeah.
and
Specialties,
specialized
right?
them.
Yeah,
And speaking of the ATF, they came out this morning with a big change in 34 different rule changes.
I
It's going
saw
to,
I saw a headline about that, but I didn't read anything
yeah.
in depth. I hadn't read
Well,
it yet.
it has to do with the NFA, the National
Yeah.
Firearms Act, which is totally unconstitutional. And I don't care
hmm
what color they paint it. It
Yeah.
infringes on our right to keep and bear arms. So
hmm
as far as I'm concerned, it's been unconstitutional since 1934.
Yeah.
But they're taking the bump stocks and changing they're going to rewrite the definition of a machine gun so that it doesn't include bump stocks,
Yeah.
because bump stocks were declared a machine gun by the ATF, but they were never legally declared a machine gun by Congress.
Right.
And Congress has a definition of a machine gun,
hmm
and the bump stock doesn't have anything to do with that. It doesn't do anything except allow you to pull the trigger faster,
hmm
which but still doesn't make the gun a machine gun.
Right.
And then there was the short barrel rifle issue with pistol braces. That was another part of it that has been jacked around so that they've made illegal a bunch of people who had legal representation. I can show you a letter that I got with my bump stock 10 years ago or 8 years ago, whatever it was, that says this is legal, sign ATF. And the next day it was, this is illegal, you're a felon, going to jail, never see your wife and kids again. You know,
Yeah.
we're supposed to be a country of laws. We're supposed to have
Yeah.
a rule of law,
Yeah.
but that implies that the rules stay the same.
Yeah.
One of our protections under the Constitution is no ipso facto, not ipso facto, de facto. What's the word I'm looking for? No retroactive laws. You
hmm
can't come in on Thursday and say what you did on Tuesday was illegal.
Right.
It has to be illegal on Tuesday for you to be punished for it.
hmm
And that's what they did. They just came in and said, okay, all you guys that were legal on Tuesday are illegal today because we changed the rules. And now if you still have this in your possession,
Yeah.
you're a criminal. And we can't operate like that.
And that's been true of the government bureaucracy itself. They got into in many departments they got into a law making mode and making rules that they assumed were laws, and that all that went in front of the Supreme Court, and they stopped a lot of that. So that's why I think the ATF now is just catching up to that decision that
Well, I
they
think
can't
that,
make laws. They can't. The bureaucrats can't make laws. They can't make rules and skirt between the laws and try to change the law with rules, whatever. The law is the law, and that's it. And if you want to change the law, Congress has got to do it. So,
Well, my feeling on that, Don, is that if you can go to jail for something, it's a law.
yeah,
And if you can go to jail for violating a rule, it's a law. And all the laws in this country are supposed to be made by Congress.
hmm,
Congress got real lazy. They found out they could do this,
yeah,
and they could just say they just created a law that says this agency now has the rule making capabilities, and here's the
hmm,
punishment for breaking the rules.
yeah,
And I think
that's
that
true.
it's just a matter of laziness on the part of Congress to they'd rather be doing hearings on TV where they get
Oh,
coverage
yeah,
so that they can go back into re-elections
yeah,
than actually do their jobs. So I don't
yeah.
want to say bad words.
Did you see, or have you seen the videos of Lee Zeldin
The EPA guy,
challenging, challenge? Well, he was challenging the purple-haired witch.
yeah, DeLorean,
Oh my
yeah.
God, he did he? He just collapsed her. I mean,
She got a little flustered.
it
I
was
think
so
part of her
great
hair
when
turned
he
red.
says, "Well, you said you should be familiar with a Supreme Court case because you're a congressman. You should know. You should know
Yeah,
better." And he's right. You
yeah.
know, they
They,
they 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 they. It's all emotional with those people. They don't care what the law is. You know,
as long
and
as
when
they
you
get
got,
invited to the cocktail
I
parties.
know, and like you said, you just want the mic in your hands and you want to be screaming and yelling, ranting and raving, and get you a sound bite
Yeah,
to get out there, and there you go. So
and use it
that's
for propaganda when you're running for re-election.
yeah, and
You know,
that's exactly what they do, right?
yeah, and there's I think the deal is incumbents have about a 95% chance of being reelected if they run. And the reason for that is you've got constituencies that that are so diversified
Hmm.
that unless something you do harms better than 50% of them, then they'll reelect you because most of us,
Yeah,
I sit here fat, dumb, and happy in southern Arizona, and if my congressman doesn't vote for a law that affects me personally, I'll reelect him. I don't want to run for the job,
yeah,
and I certainly don't want a Democrat to get that job. So yeah, I'm going to reelect him if I can. And but have I really done my homework? Is my current representative actually represent me? That's the hard part when you've got 750,000 constituents. An incumbent can just say, yeah, I got the majority of my constituents want to do this. Well, how are you going to prove him wrong? You could go out and
sure.
canvass 750,000 people.
Yeah.
So it's just once you're in, you're in.
Who is your representative? Is it Siscomani?
Juan Ciscomani.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Juan's not a bad guy. He's just not a real
No,
good
he's a
guy.
good guy. He's got a beautiful wife, and
But that's
I
not
think
a,
he's
that's
got
not a criteria I look
I
for in
know he's
a
got more than
representative
10
candidate.
kids, I think. Yeah. We met his whole family and met him. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, but
He's a nice guy. I don't have anything against him personally. I just think
yeah,
sometimes his voting is a little
yeah,
wimpy.
yeah. He's definitely doing a high wire act in that district with
Hmm.
and I don't know who all what part of Arizona is your district, but obviously you've got part of or all of Pima County, right?
We got part of Pima County, and this district extends all the way to New Mexico.
Okay.
Greenlee, uh, uh, Greenlee County,
So yeah, Cochise, include
Cochise,
Cochise.
Santa
Yeah,
Cruz,
yeah,
and I can't think of the little skinny one next to Greenlee there.
yeah. What's it called? I know
I
which one you mean.
can't think of its name. Mount
So
Graham's on there.
you got some conservative influence
Hmm.
overlapping Pima County for sure.
Yeah,
So
our district takes in half of Saurita,
yeah,
something like that now.
yeah.
So
That was the only part of it that was kind of weird when they drew it, is to cut Sarita in half.
yeah,
That didn't make any sense to anybody, but
It made sense to somebody.
Yeah, makes sense. Because the people that
Now
are
that,
in that other half, it definitely didn't make sense to them if they're Republicans, right?
yeah, right.
Wow.
So,
So redistricting in Florida, we have new maps here. We got 4 more seats. The House voted on it yesterday and passed it, and the Senate's voting on it today, and they'll pass it. And DeSantis will sign it into law. So that will be in effect for the midterms. Um, and DeSantis told Hakeem Jeffries he said, make my day. He says, I'll pay you to come down here and fight with us if you want. Said, but don't tell me how to run my state. The guy from, and I didn't realize he was from New York. Um, this is state we have half the budget New York has, and we have twice the facilities and twice the things that New York has. So DeSantis gave a big speech this morning about it all, and he laid it on Hakeem. So, and then I heard a little bit of Victor David Hansen today. I was watching his latest video. He he was talking about Hakeem Jeffrey. He says, I can't figure out. He says, sometimes when he's talking and he appears to get angry, he says his eyes start spinning. He says he can't figure out what's going on there, man. So yeah, he gets in one breath. The other day he said, "Yeah, we got to tone down the rhetoric," and then the next breath he talked about making war on and
yeah.
going crazy. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
he's a man way out of his depth. I can tell you
Oh, he
that.
is. He really is. Yeah,
He
yeah, he really is. Yeah,
I
they
can you
they
can just look at him. You can see that the wheels are spinning. They're not getting any
right,
traction up there in his brain.
right.
Um,
Yeah,
but the words are coming out of his mouth. Kind of
yeah.
like
The gears are spinning, but they're not hooked to each other. Right.
yeah.
They're just all going everywhere, man. So we're going to get our seats, and he's called the governor of Tennessee today and wants Bill Lee, and he wants to get him working on redistricting for Tennessee. So yeah, they're going all out now. Texas map got approved by the Supreme Court, so that's good. And
Yep.
I did see. I don't know if you heard it, but there was a court decision about Alligator Alcatraz. They've been trying down here to close that up and tear it down since it got opened up, but they've been unsuccessful. Now the court's told them all the environmentalists to drop it because it's not going anywhere. So I think that's
Yeah.
finally come to an end. What else we got going on here? Oh, we got. I saw this big headline that Arizona, uh, some judge in Arizona ruled that the federal government can have their border rolls. Um, I think her name. It's a woman. Her name is Bronvik, and I'm assuming she's related to that former attorney general of yours. Um, I guess his wife is a judge now appointed by Trump, but she ruled against the government for getting the Arizona voter rolls. She said that the law applies
Oh,
to individual voters, not voter registration, which that didn't make any sense to me, but that's what she
yeah.
figured out. So
Yeah, well,
Katie Hobbs and Fontes were cheering that
really,
result, I guess. So
no, they would.
yeah, everything that's bad they would. And I guess Katie's having quite a battle with the legislature about the budget, huh?
Yeah, she walked out on the negotiations and evidently hadn't come back and
Yeah, they
said
went they went and put the big beautiful bill stuff in the Arizona budget, the no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, and she didn't like that. So
well,
she
it's
went
also, of course, we're after April 15th now, and so many people
right.
didn't know how to fill out their tax forms for the state
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the rules weren't the same,
Yeah.
and
Did
that's
you
been
file already?
Oh, I've got my refund, man.
Yeah,
I spent
yeah,
that already.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't get much. I don't pay taxes, so I'm
Because
surprised I didn't pay that.
you filed your state already.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I use TurboTax.
Oh yeah, I do too. Yeah, we do
A B
too.
C D E F G. Push the button and off it goes
Yeah,
to
but
Washington.
unless you have a small business in Florida, or you know, like you rent a house for you own a house to rent, that kind of thing, we don't have to file state taxes. So yeah, that's nice. We don't even get the forms anymore. They just TurboTax says, "Are you from Florida?" Okay, forget it. So
Send us
so we
fifty
do.
dollars.
Yeah, yeah,
Send us $50 and we'll take care of this one.
right. So yeah, I guess I did see a little bit about Hobbs walking out on the budget thing, and I
Yeah.
thought I wanted to talk to Ken about that today. Ken might be he may have gone to Utah to rescue his wife because she was talking about flying back home, and he was going to. You remember last week we were talking about passports, and he was going to
Uh-huh.
have to overnight her passport to her to get her home, and so maybe he had to go pick her up. I don't know. Anyway,
Be like Charlie on the MTA, huh?
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
She never returned.
never returned. So, anything else going on in the great state of Arizona that you want to bring up?
No,
Local
there's nothing.
politics. How's Nanos doing with the kidnapping?
Well,
Any?
there's petitions out to recall him.
Yeah.
I
Are
don't
they
know how
going
that's going to
anywhere?
work out. They're getting signed, but I just don't know I don't know what the number is. I think it's like a quarter of a million. They got to get a quarter million signatures or something like that, based on the population of Pima County.
Mm,
Mark Fincham had a little bit to say about him, and none of it good. Um, and somebody's filing suit claiming that his resume that he got the job in the sheriff's department on was falsified, and that means that he fraudulently got into the sheriff's department and then fraudulently ended up as the high
as a
sheriff.
sheriff. Yeah.
Uh, my complaint with Nanos, that's one of them, but he was his chief deputy, and there were two other chief deputies. One of them was named Radke, and I can't think
Mm-hmm.
of the third guy's name, but they got their fingers in the RICO money,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
civil forfeiture money,
Yeah.
and took out $750,000. And of course,
Right.
the county attorney was the one who held the keys to that box, and so
Mm-hmm.
she didn't get indicted. The three deputies got indicted. One deputy was so sure he was going to jail that he shot himself, killed himself.
Mm-hmm. I
And
remember
then
committed
the
suicide.
Radke guy went to court, and they slapped him on the hand and said, "Don't steal any more money because we'll be really mad next time," and sent him away. I mean, that's what he got for stealing a quarter of a million dollars, three quarters of a million dollars, and then Nanos runs for sheriff and has his chief deputy thrown in jail for campaigning for his opponent, Heather Lappin, and then
Yeah.
suspended Lappin, said she did something wrong and put her on temporary suspension until
Mm-hmm.
after the election, so she couldn't campaign.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, when I I grew up in Louisiana when we had Huey Long and that sort of thing,
Yeah.
Edwin Edwards, and I remember I think I told you this, but I was out and wandering around the parking lot near the state capitol, and I came back in and told my mother I saw a bumper sticker that said Louisiana has the best politicians money can buy, and she said, "Isn't that good?" And she laughed. I was very young. I didn't realize what it meant, but I didn't realize the corruption that I thought Louisiana had a headlock on corruption, but it doesn't even hold a candle to some of the places I've seen.
Yeah.
So they're amateurs.
There's a big headline today, Paul, from Louisiana, from New Orleans Parish, that the I think she was an assistant sheriff. I don't know what they call them there. The under sheriff, right? She got
Chief
indicted
deputy. So,
along with she got indicted along with 30 other people for all kinds of bad stuff.
uh,
So yeah, I did see that. I did see that headline. So a lot of that, a lot of that stuff in some of these states still goes on, right? it's just not rampant. It's so rampant in so many foreign countries. It's just not rampant here, but it does exist here, and it's. I was looking at a headline here from Jerusalem Post. It says CENTCOM prepares for renewed strikes in Iran. What do you think about that? Still there?
Yeah, I'm still back. I'm still here.
Okay, some reason this whole Zoom just closed up on me.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a headline here. It says CENTCOM prepares for renewed strikes in Iran. So they apparently they know something we don't know.
I hope they know something we don't know.
Yeah,
But
they yeah I think President Trump's figured out that they're in a big stall now. So
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I think Iran has nothing to offer
no,
except bad stuff,
yeah,
and now they ran they ran the UAE out of OPEC. Now the OPEC was what was keeping oil prices high. Now of
hmm,
course they're up right now, even with
yeah.
UAE out.
They did
But
drop a little since yesterday, but yeah,
yeah,
they're still up.
I
Yeah,
think that's
UAE
just a
wants to
temporary.
drop the price and they want to turn out more oil.
Right,
Yeah,
right. And they've been held together through this, which is interesting considering the proclivities of the Muslim faith to do whatever seems best right at the moment, rather than what you may have said you were going to do yesterday.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, with the UAE dropping out, and if anybody else drops out, then the price of oil is going to go down because the cartel had you know, they don't have any price fixing rules over there, and so it's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens under those circumstances.
I think we're frozen up here, kid. Am I moving or are you moving? I don't think we're moving here. See what's going on here.
I'm moving.
It's claiming my internet connection is unstable. That's something new.
My internet says I'm
We might be
unstable. So
we might be unstable. I don't know about the internet connection. So yeah, I saw that about that sheriff, that undersheriff that she's and did Nanos put back together Paul his big staff like he had before? He had all these extra people under him, like 3 undersheriffs and 5 this and 4 of that, and Napier took all that stuff away. He got rid of all that frosting on the cake. Um, we're still not connecting here for some reason.
yeah, let me down when they got rid of Napier.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that wasn't a good
It says
move.
your network
You know.
bandwidth is low.
Yeah. Is that what yours is saying?
Mine
I
says
don't know why
Don
it's
Wooley's
doing this.
network bandwidth is low.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's interesting. Maybe
yeah. Have you got one of those thermostats that works off the internet?
I do. I have a
Nest
Sensi
or something like
thermostat.
that?
Yeah. Well, it's ours is called Sensi.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a
Okay.
digital thermostat, but usually I don't have any problems. I even dropped the speed of my internet to because I didn't need the Cadillac system or whatever you call it, Rolls-Royce. I just needed their medium speed, so everything's working fine now. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out about Iran. If we're going after Iran again, I think we should. I've been putting on True Social for Trump. I write him in the mornings and I say, they're stalling, Mr. President, light them up. So, I don't know if he's seeing it or not,
Yeah.
but I think that's what I think they've been doing. You just
Probably
got to
calls
finish the job
Caroline
now. You
Levitt.
take 2 weeks now and finish the job. Yeah, I could drive down to Sitcom in Tampa and talk to Admiral Cooper. I
Sure.
think he
Yeah,
might see me,
tell him
huh?
how to do it. Tell
Well,
him
I'm
you're an
a
old
veteran,
combat
Admiral
veteran.
Cooper, and I want you to go back in and attack.
Kick some butt.
There you go.
I don't
So,
know if
well,
there's any place left.
they could probably finish it off in 2 weeks, don't you think?
Well,
Uh,
yeah, I sent, I think it was Zach wrote something down, and I sent him back a paragraph or so, and I'm pretty sure I sent it back to you too. But
yeah, you probably
I,
did.
the question was the Liberator. Are you familiar with the Liberator? The
hmm Yeah,
the one-shot pistol that was developed
yeah.
during World War II.
hmm
I was thinking that's really, boy, that see the people in Iran would love to probably get rid of the IRGC and
hmm
the Ayatollahs and all that kind of stuff, but they've been disarmed, and
Yeah,
it's real hard to face live fire when you're barefooted
sure. When you don't
and
have
naked,
live fire. Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
so I was suggesting that we just take, punch out those things, the Liberators. I think they cost $5 a piece during World War II when they built
hmm
them, and now they might run $100 a piece. But if we dropped
hmm
100,000 of them into the populated areas of Iran,
hmm
what would that be? 100,000 times 100 is $1 million. About 25 minutes of wartime financially. We'd arm the whole
Yeah.
population of Iran, and then the rules and these things were dropped with instructions in French that said, "Shoot a German, take his gun." Now you
hmm
don't. You have a pistol and a rifle, and
Yeah.
with one less German.
Yeah.
And but the powers that be were afraid of arming that much of the population of France. The French government didn't want them to have guns.
hmm
Uh, of course, the British had ads all over the United States at the beginning of World War II to rearm the British because the British took all the guns away from the soldiers as they came back from the war
hmm
and damaged them, demilled them, they call it. And
Yeah.
so England got caught with no guns, and
hmm
they were buying civilian guns from the United States,
Yeah.
and that's it. That's why we just cannot let our government take our guns away.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not a matter of murder. The murder rate relative to what's going to happen if we lose our guns is
hmm
nothing.
Yeah.
It's I mean, you can go to China, Russia, Cambodia, and look at the people that have been killed by the government. It's called democide, and
Yeah.
more people have died from government action than wars since 1900.
Who was it? Oh, you remember couple of weeks ago when the crazy Haitian killed that woman in front of her convenience store with an axe?
Yeah, right.
Well,
With
when
a
that
hammer.
happened, with a hammer, I'm sorry. Yeah, with a hammer. So I answered that thing with my comment and I said, well, the Democrat solution will be to ban hammers,
Hmm.
right? And sue all of the hammer companies.
Yeah, but
They
they won't.
won't
They won't
they
ban
don't care about the
imitations.
Asian that used the hammer to kill her, right? He'll
Yep.
go scot free. So that's how they solve those kind of problems. But yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of weapon or whatever you use to kill somebody.
Well,
It's murder.
who committed the
Sometimes it
first?
turns out to be a gun. Yeah,
Who committed the first murder, and what did he use?
yeah, yeah. Probably fire. Probably burn somebody to death. Right.
No, Cain. Cain killed Abel with a rock.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, so
You went way back on.
well, I'm just saying, more people are killed with fists and hands than rifles.
Yeah,
No,
sure. Yeah,
it's all a big joke. All they want to do is disarm us so that we become helpless.
yeah. Well,
And
that's
they,
that was what they started doing in this latest, the latest incident. They right away they started talking about taking away more guns, right?
right?
This guy had legally purchased guns, but he had transported them illegally across state lines, and I know you're not supposed to take a gun on Amtrak, so either they're not checking good I don't know if they even use what are they called? Magnetometers?
Agnometers, yeah,
Magnometers?
yeah.
I don't know if they use those when you board an Amtrak train, but you're not supposed to take a gun on board. So obviously he did. He took a shotgun and a handgun. Why did he have three knives? What
That's
was he a
interesting.
knife? Was he a knife expert? He was going to start. He was
I
going to
doubt.
start throwing knives when he was out of ammo.
I don't know. He
What's
certainly
up
didn't
with
look like a
that?
knife expert to me. But
He he didn't
he
look like a
obviously
gun expert either.
he wasn't a gun expert. And he wasn't a very good running expert because I understand he tripped. That's how they caught him. He
Yeah,
tripped and fell down.
yeah. He
He
fell
was
down
running too
just as that
fast.
agent shot 5 shots at him.
Yeah,
Right. One of the senators was alarmed. He says, "I'm alarmed because the one Secret Service agent shot 5 times and didn't hit him."
didn't hit him. You'll appreciate this as an Air Force guy. Curtis, this guy wrote in. He was writing into Reader's Digest, Humor in Uniform, and he was
Hmm.
telling a story about how he was on guard duty at Offutt, I think it was, the SAC base,
Yeah.
and this official Chevrolet, blue Air Force official Chevrolet, came to his guard post, but just shot right past him. And he said, I pulled out my 45 and I put 5 rounds through the back window. And he said the car came to a screeching halt. The backup lights went on. He came screaming back, and General LeMay got out of the car, walked over to me, ripped my stripes off, and said, "That's for missing."
Yeah. Boy, you can't win that one, right? Interesting. You think he would have rewarded him for firing his weapon, right?
Well,
Trying
he
to
didn't
stop
reward
him.
him because he
I
missed.
know, yeah, because he missed, yeah. But if he would have hit him, he would have killed him, and it wouldn't have mattered.
That's right.
Somebody
Then he
else
would
would
have
have
been
promoted
rewarded.
him. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. I believe
So,
that's probably a true story, knowing LeMay, because
no, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't
he
doubt it.
was, yeah, he was when it came to security and base security, he was really a psycho. Um, yeah, you get on SAC base,
We refer
I,
to him as thorough, not
thorough,
psycho.
yeah, very thorough, a psycho general. Yeah, I um, I used to go to a SAC base in March when I was in California, but I never was stationed on a SAC base. I was always in TAC and MAC. So, but yeah, SAC was just they were brutal,
Yeah.
and not just security. There was uniforms and haircuts, and it was letter of the law, boy.
You
With
mean
LeMay,
you mean almost like a real military organization?
almost like a real military organization. Yeah, 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 yeah. There you go. So, well, it was good to see you, Paul. Good to talk to you.
Yeah.
I don't know where anybody else is. If you had any final comments,
No, I'm good right now.
okay. Anything
Covered
coming
up.
up next week in Arizona?
How's that?
Anything coming up next week in Arizona?
Oh, I'm
Political,
putting
politics, anything? Taking
putting
your
my
car
car in
down?
the
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah. Well, I hope that goes well for you.
Me too. I can't afford a new one.
Hope they figure it out with all this computer stuff they got nowadays. You'd think that they could make some headway. But maybe
I think
that's the
so.
problem there. We rely so much on computers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Old
Sometimes
shade tree mechanic. It's hard to, 20 years ago, you just drove up to a guy's backyard and he'd fix whatever was wrong with the car just by listening to it.
oh yeah.
And now he's got to have $5,000 million worth of electronic study stuff to
Yeah.
tell you that your left rear tire is flat.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got it. So, okay. Well, thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. And this is For Men in America. And Paul and Don signing off for another week. We will see you next week. I think we'll be back on next week, which will be May the 7th, right? Should be May the 7th.
It looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So May the 7th, as For Men in America signing off, and good night, everybody, and God bless America. Thanks, Paul.
You bet.
Take
Good
care.
night.
Now, wait a minute, Jack. This is a friendly celebration.
Fiddly-dee! I don't much like the way you celebrate.